take like a little 5-minute break? Stand up, walk around, get a snack, and then walk around. I'm gonna grab a chair because I fell right before here. You can tell by my lovely coffee, and my bones are pretty much made of sticks, and I'm starting to get stiff. So, chair just in case I have to sit down. Hi, everybody. Hi. I'm Brianne Kerr. I'm a Black Status presenter, and I'm talking about attraction marketing. I'm also talking about the importance of relationships. And not just relationships with your customers, and not just relationships with the women in your success line. I'm talking about the relationships with everybody that you meet, and the relationships with your cross line, and the relationships that you make with women and other teams, the relationships you make with other, people that you look up to, and how it's so, so, so important to your business and to you as a person. Now, one of the most amazing things I feel like about our job is the more you grow, the bigger your check grows, right? So a lot of the stumbling blocks that we face are actually within, right? There's something that's really scary and we're not comfortable doing that, or we're really not really super great at people in person. Like I have a lot of anxiety. It's really hard for me to do that. I get anxious when around people, so I come across really nervous and fidgety, and people, there's a lot of personal development that we can do that actually make us grow as a person, and it helps our business grow too. I'm going to talk about the relationships within your team and your success line, and maybe if you don't have your own group page yet, I usually don't recommend you open up your own group page until you're about a green status presenter. But you should have a group chat going with everybody in your downline. And how important your relationships with the women on your team and you cultivating that community is for your business. I'm not going to tell you my story again. You guys know I came out, I had no direct sales experience at all. However, I did know people. And I identify with your story so much because I have 3 kids, and I was on Just Mommies. I don't know if you guys remember the forum, but I was in the December 08 due date club. I was in due date clubs for all of them, and I have women from all of my kids' due date clubs that are on my team now because we've maintained those relationships. And the reason I joined Younique was because I was a birth doula by trade. One of my doula clients from about 4 years ago joined another direct sales company, and now she's one of their top earners, and her husband was an E4. My husband was an E4. We don't make anything. And so, nothing. Searching maxed out credit cards to find enough money to buy diapers. And so I watched her going from living on really crappy on-base housing, right, where you got 4 houses connected to each other and everybody's up in their business with on-post housing, to her buying herself a mansion. With her husband still away in Afghanistan working his business. I watched that, so I knew it was the real deal. So the relationships that you make are really important. I just had to add that in there because I relate. I'm like, I get that. That's my story too. So before Younique, one of the reasons I came in and I already had a pretty good market and lots of relationships is because of mommy groups. And I moved to Fort Bragg and I created a natural birth and parenting group. I taught baby wearing. I was a birth doula. I had a birth business. I encapsulated placentas. I worked with a midwife. So I had lots and lots of really great relationships with lots of women in my community. And on top of that, the Fayetteville Natural Birth and Parenting community, there wasn't anything like this on Fort Bragg when we lived there. But there was a need. I was still breastfeeding my 2-year-old when we moved on post, and I was like the alien lady who whips her boob out. Like, it was totally uncomfortable because it was just different. Like, I was the weird lady wrapping her kid in a scarf on her back in the parking lot. There was a need, so I created this community. So when I came into Younique, my experience was creating community. And so that's what I did in my group. My team page, we have some awesome girls in the house. Holla! All right. My team page is a community. It's not like, oh, Bree's getting up, she's talking, she's going to tell you exactly how to do it. Heck no. it is a community where we all, my Crossline girls are best friends. That is the community that you want. We reach out to each other, and it does not matter that I have absolutely no financial gain for you. We are Y sisters. We help each other out. And this is so important to your business because we know in direct sales retention rates are, you know, you have to be constantly recruiting because they might be leaving just as fast. It's very important, and this is just kind of the nature of the beast. I feel like Younique has probably one of the best retention rates of any direct sales company out there because our compensation plan is amazing, our product is amazing, and our company is amazing. But that is still a thing. Now, if you are giving them roots to stay, meaning like a due date club, like an online mommy group, like, wait, I love being a part of Team Awesome. I feel like I have somewhere I can go with anything. You know, we celebrate each other's birthdays. We celebrate each other's babies. We are a community of women who love each other. You need to cultivate this within your team. They need to love to be a part of your team. And they will walk with you because it feels good to be in your team through back orders, through like all of this stuff because they love to be a part of that community. This is how you create a working team where we feel we want to help each other. We cheer, the world's biggest cheerleaders. And if you have successful upline, they're probably the world's biggest cheerleaders too. And it feels gosh darn good. So knowing who your team, but everybody operates differently. Like there's different, I had all of the girls on my team. You can figure out what your personality color is. Has anybody heard of this? Right, Big Al has a whole book on it. There's different theories behind it, but it's all pretty much the same. We all can pretty much get categorized into different colors, right? There's the really like crazy dominating people who need to have everything in control and be in their control. And then there's people that are motivated by relationships and intimacy. I'm yellow, I'm motivated by fun. I like to keep things funny, I like to keep things fun. This is how I relate with people, it makes me happy. Figuring out what your color is. But also, every time you interact with a new person, connecting with them and to yourself trying to figure out what color they are so you can reach them on their level is so important to your customers and important to the women on your team. Because what motivates one might not motivate another. You know? And relationships with the people in your customers, right? That will in turn turn into women on your team. How do you make them feel? Do you know how you make people feel? Does anybody really? Do you guys know how you make people feel? I hope so. I hope so. I hope I know how to make people. I hope I make people feel super duper great. You know, I want people to leave a conversation with me feeling heard and seen and appreciated and loved. And I don't care if it's a gas station attendant who just took my change for the pack of gum I bought. I want them to know that I want them to have a good day and that I see them. I don't care if it's the waitress. Some people treat waitresses so rudely. You know, that you're just there to serve me. No, connect with somebody. Now, if you can get in the habit, living your day, trying to connect with as many people as possible for 2 seconds, it takes nothing. Your business will be better, your life will be better, and people will want to walk with you because you make them feel good because you took the time to connect. And I'm telling you what, this day and age, it is a lot harder to connect with people. So I've been marathoning through friends recently. I'm 36 years old, so I lived in the 90s before there was internet, before all this stuff. Nowadays, we're almost kind of culturally getting a point where we do this. We do this even when we're not really caring what's on our phone. We do this because it's a tick. It's almost like a tick. We do this when we're scared. We do this when we don't want to talk to you. We do this when we're in line at the grocery store because I don't really want to talk to the people around me because everybody has our bubble. But here's the thing. This is what a lot of us are doing, but we are human beings, and human beings need to have this connection. We are not solitary species. We're not a solitary species. We are herders. We are group people. We need each other. Even the most solitary person needs that connection. So being really aware of how many people you actually get to interact with every single day can completely change your business. When I first started, I knew that if I wanted to be successful, I needed to grow a team. That means I need to make all the friends. And that's what I did, except for I started to get really, really sick right after I joined Younique. So really, I couldn't do vendor events. I couldn't even teach baby wearing and go to my mommy play dates anymore because I couldn't drive. So my whole social trip out was going to the grocery store. And it was like a block and a half away. And I got in my car where it asked me about my eyelashes, so I made darn sure my makeup was on point. I had all day to look forward to this grocery store trip. And I went to the grocery store, and I was like the lady at the grocery store looking like, oh, I need to get apples too. How are you doing? Because this was my interaction. I cannot tell you how many girls are on my team that I met at the grocery store, usually the checkout clerks, because you have a great opportunity to talk to people then, and how many people I've sold mascara to. It was the best looking grocery store in town. That's all I have to say. My point is that you have this opportunity to connect with people. And we may not be good at it. It may be something that you need to practice at, but I promise your quality of life and the people around you's life will improve. And you know what? Your business will improve too. This is how we grow ourselves. One of the biggest compliments that I ever have gotten in my entire life was about 12 years ago. I picked up these habits with communicating and making relationships with people when I was a teenager. I've been 5'10". I'm actually shrinking now, but no, I usually was 5'10", since I was 13 years old. I was one of the weird girls that grew tall really, really quick. And once I got really tall, I started modeling because I could take a pretty picture. And the girls at high school didn't like that. And it was really intimidating to them. And it was really, really, really hard for me to make friends. And so I had to figure out how to reach people to make them comfortable with me in a non-intimidating way to make friends. And so I learned really quickly the power of making eye contact with people. We don't do that a lot. People get really nervous. There's something about the eyes, the windows to the soul. About when you're talking to somebody, trying really hard not to get distracted. So one of the best compliments that I've ever gotten in my entire life, and I remember it to this day, it was somebody that I had maybe 3 minutes worth of interaction with at a conference. Gosh, I think it was 2001. And we had this interaction, we were getting drinks, and we talked just for a little bit, 3 to 5 minutes. The next day, we're getting ready to go, and he comes up to me and says, I want you to know that when you're talking to somebody, you make them feel like the only person in the room. And that was the best compliment I've ever gotten in my life. That 3 to 5 minute conversation with you where you're focusing, you're interested, you're listening, and your mouth is shut is how you connect with people. The last training that we had, what was his name? Todd Falcone, yes. He talked, and he was really talked about keeping your mouth shut when you're talking to people. A nervous tick that we all would do is I do this. I have to keep my stuff in check all the time. Is when I get a little bit nervous, I talk and I make jokes. I just talk and I make jokes. I'm like Chandler in Friends. So I've been watching a lot of Friends. And I talk. That's what I do. And so I have to, and that can be really overpowering. Especially if you have a big personality, it can be really overpowering. It can scare people. It scares the whites. Scare the blues.
Scares the whites.
Yeah. That sounds horrible. Yeah. That sounds really bad. No, color personality. So you have to learn who you are and how you make people feel so you can see what types of personalities to keep yourself in check. I find that if you shut your mouth when prospecting, when talking to people that are maybe interested in the opportunity, when talking to your new recruits, when talking to the women on your team, on coaching calls, women don't have coaching calls with me and I don't tell them how to run their business. That is not what coaching calls is. People call me and I listen to what they need. And I listen to what they're needing in their business. I ask them what they feel like their strengths and weaknesses are. I let them coach themselves. Because people will. But you gotta shut your mouth. You prospecting with somebody with recruiting, keep the ball is always in their court. It's not your court. Connect with them. People join people, not opportunities. I recruited myself though, so that's not 100% true, but people join people. I have so many presenters be like, she came and she talked to me, then she ended up joining another company. Okay, well, did you connect with each? I gave her all the information. No. Don't give her all the information. That's hearsay. That's not what she wants. She doesn't care that we get paid every 3 hours, really. She needs a connection. Do you know anything about her? Did you ask questions? You know, that is something that you learn. You get better and better and better and better and better the more you do it. So when talking to people, really, really be cognizant of what you say and the questions you ask. And always try hard. Challenge yourself that after every new conversation, you have learned something new. You've paid enough attention to them that you'll never forget their name. Calling people by their name is a really big deal. My dad has a book written of just names. He is a self-made millionaire salesman. It's very important, that connection, because we are in the business of people. We're in the business of people. Uplifting, empowering, and validating. It's super awesome. All right, really quick, attraction marketing. If you're living your life like this, like how many people can I affect? How many people can I make feel good today? How many people can I connect with? Let's bring that onto social media. Same thing.